Okay, let's do the last section in the chapter, section 1.8. It's about summation notation. So in other words, it's about this. This is called summation notation. This is called a sigma. If you know, that's called a sigma, and this is also called a sigma. And just like in English, we have a small a, and we have capital A. These are Greek letters, this one and this one. And this is a small sigma, and this is a capital sigma. And sigma is a Greek S. And S stands for sum. Okay? So that's probably, I think, why they use sigma. It means sum. So this means sum, do some summing. Sum means addition, means plus. Right? So what does this mean? So many of you know this already, but some of you might feel a little bit unsure of it. So let's go over it. So what does this mean? So what this means is that you can see I equals 1, and you see 4 here. It means that first you make I equal to 1, then next time you'll make I equal 2, then I equals 3, then I equals 4, and you keep going until you get to here. Well, that last one is 4, so I equals 4. So what I mean by that is you put 1 into here, so what do you get? 1 squared. So let's write that. You get 1 squared. Then you put I equals 2, then I becomes 2, so you put 2 in there, and you get 2 squared. It's not very clear, but 2 squared. And then I becomes 3, so you get 3 squared. And then I becomes 4, and that's the last one, and you get 4 squared. So that's what that means. And then the sigma tells you to put plus in between. So that's what this means. So this means this. So what is it anyway? It's 1 plus 4 plus 9 plus 16, right? 9 plus 16 is 25, plus 4 is 29, plus 1 is 30. So this is 30, so this is 30. So this equals 30, right? Okay? So that's what that means. How about if I had something like this? I equals, sometimes we don't write I down here, we just put the number, but I'll write I this time. I equals, let's say, 2 to 5. Okay, so what does that mean? So it means first I equals 2, so I put 2 times 2, right? 2 times 2. Then I equals 3, so I put 2 times 3. Then I equals 4, I keep going, right? 2 times 4, keep going, so I equals 5, I put 2 times 5, and then I stop, right, because it says stop after I equals 5. And then what do I put in between here? This is a sigma sign, so I put in plus, right? And that's what this means. So what is that? 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10. That's 10 plus 4 is, 10 plus 4 is, 10 plus 8 is 18, plus 6 is 24, plus 4 is 28. So this is equal to 28. Okay? And so on. You can, I could do anything here. I could put I cubed plus I. Could do that if I wanted to. Of course, it wouldn't equal this anymore. But you could do anything what you want. And you don't have to use I. I could have called this K. And as long as I put K here, it would be alright, right? Same thing. Right? And these numbers, you can put anything in here. You could put 2, you could put 20 to 50 or whatever, right? And so on. So, by the way, just to tell you, sometimes we'll do this. Oops. Let's say I did that. 2i. Okay. And this is I goes from... Sometimes, as I said, we don't write the I part here. We just write the number. I might just write 1 here, and I can't fit this up here, by the way. I'll put it over here. 3. It's supposed to go up here. I can't fit it. So 1 to 3, and sometimes I said, sometimes we get lazy. We don't write this. We just write 1 and 3. Anyway, what does this mean? This is what letter? This is pi, right? And pi, what do you think pi is a Greek what? Pi is a Greek P. And what do you think P stands for? It stands for product. I'm not going to write it. It stands for product, which means times. So this one is sigma, but this one is, so this one is add, but this one is multiply. So what does this mean? First I put in what? I equals 1, so I get 2 times 2. And then I put in I equals 2, so I'm sorry, no, that's wrong. 2 times 1. And then I put in I equals 2, so I get 2 times 2. And then I put in I equals 3, and I get 2 times 3. And then I have to stop because it says stop at 3. And now this is not sigma here, so this is not plus. This is not plus here. This is pi, which means product. So what do? It's times here, and times here. So whatever this is equal to, that's what we mean by this. Okay, but we won't use this, but we will use this. So, let's see. So here, we might have x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 plus x5, and that, well, they're not really making it clear. See, I told you they don't. I said that I don't write the I, but they didn't even write the numbers here. They didn't write 1 and 5 here, so they're really being sloppy. Let me show you what this is supposed to be. Let me get rid of this. Make it bigger. How do I do that? Here. Blow it up. Whoops. Okay, now, so they're being really sloppy, but what they meant, or what they, to be less sloppy, they would have written this. I equals 1, I think they went to 5, x, I. Now notice the I is down here, but still, I'm supposed to put in I equals 1, I equals 2, I equals 3, I equals 4, and x is not affected by this. I keep writing xi every time. Before I might have had like 2 to the I don't know. But this is x, so let's just treat it like it's a symbol. Just copy it each time. So I equals 1, what do I write? I write x 1. I equals 2, what do I write? I write x 2. I equals 3, what do I write? I write x 3. I'm running out of space here, so I'm making it shorter. X 4 and x 5, right? Nothing to do, it's just very simple. Okay, and what's the sigma mean? Plus. So that's that. So in other words, you can say, if you wanted to write this, you can write it this way. Now they were sloppy, or I don't know if I can call it sloppy, but they just wrote that. They didn't even write, I said you could leave out the I and you could write it like this, but they didn't even, and in other words, I said you could do this, right? Instead of writing it this way, I said you could write it this way, leave out the I here, but they were much worse, right? They just did that, and somehow you're supposed to know, you know, it doesn't, you can't know that it goes from 1 to 5, but they're just not writing it in. They should, of course they have to write it in if you're going to know that you go from 1 to 5, but I don't know, sometimes, whatever. Anyway, this. Okay? So they wrote it like this, but obviously you can't know that this goes from 1 to 5 if they don't write in 1, at least write in 1 and 5 here. Okay? But you're supposed to understand this somehow. So here they're saying, for example, annual salaries in thousands of dollars for 4 workers, so I guess that means it's supposed to go from 1 to 4 or something like that, are 75, 90, 125, and 61 respectively. Find this. So what does that mean? That means add up these things. That's basically what they're trying to say. Add up 75, 90, 125, and 61. What does this mean? Add them up and square it. So they're trying to explain one thing is that there's a difference between this and this. What's the difference? This one means add them up first. So 75 plus 90 plus 125 plus 61, whatever that equals. And then take that number and square it. That's going to be different than square 75, square 90, square 125, and square 61, and then add those up. That's what this one means. Okay? They give you the answers here, so you can read that if you didn't understand. How about here? Here's M and F. So M goes through these numbers, and F goes through these numbers. So compute sigma, this is red, sigma M. So compute that. So what do? You add up 12, 15, 20, and 30, right? What is that? 50, 65, 72. Okay, so that would be, this would be 72. What does this symbol mean? Add up F squared. What does that mean? Square 25, what's that? I'm sorry, square 5, that's 25. Square this, 9100, and 256 is that squared. So that's this plus this plus this plus that is this number. So that's what this is. You can go back and check these. You should if you don't understand it. Okay, what's this mean? MF, sigma MF. So that means take 12 times 5 plus 15 times 9 plus 20 times 10 plus 30 times 16. Okay, if you have questions about this, please don't hesitate to ask me. I'd be happy to explain it in class. Don't hesitate to ask me about this. I'm more than happy to explain it, and if you ask me, I'd like to explain it to the whole class. If somebody doesn't understand it, please don't hesitate, because you do need to understand this, and I'm happy to go over it again. Okay? And then review it here. Okay? Got lots of practice here. And that is the end of chapter 8. But we also have this. What's this? So I think in each section they have, in each chapter they have the uses and misuses. So the point is that people who don't understand statistics well might misuse their knowledge, or they might make mistakes. And here they're trying to show some examples of where you might misuse it or maybe use it properly. And then don't forget we have these other sections like this mini project. Okay, so I'll stop here.